Well, now I want to bring in Utah Congressman Burgess Owens. Congressman, I'm going to ask you the same question. You see numbers like this with 13,000 convicted murderers, 15,000 convicted sexual predators that Kamala Harris, Joe Biden released into our country. What's your reaction?
Mark, first of all, this is what happens when you have the Republican Party in majority. I want to thank my good friend, Tony Gonzalez, who ended up getting this report and being able to pass it out. It comes down to one simple thing. When we see this kind of measure, and by the way, one of the things that's not talked about right now that we should continue to talk about, there's also 320,000 children that have been lost. Children that are now enslaved and sex trafficking or labor trafficking. That cuts to the core of who we are. There's a lot of things we can talk about. When our most vulnerable kids, children, are now put into slavery, and we don't think about that. This says a lot about this administration. This administration is showing what it looks like to hate our country, to hate our culture. No one does this on purpose. No one makes this misery as a political strategy unless they hate who we are and they love power more. This is a moment that American people need to realize. These are numbers, but these also are people. These are lives that can be impacted from this point for the distant future. Because you're right, we're going to have, first of all, try to figure out how to catch these people, get them out of here. But what about the trauma of these young kids coming through, what they had experienced coming to this country and then being lost? What's going to happen to our culture, our society, as a result of what happens when they start getting older? We are dealing with a long-term issue, and it's a feat of the Biden and Harris. These guys hate our culture, and we need to get them out of here so we get someone who loves our nation back in place and moving forward again.
You know, Congressman, I know you guys have just left Washington, D.C. You won't be back again until after the election in November. But is this an opportunity for leadership for members like yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to introduce a piece of legislation when we get back in November, ending sanctuary status, at least as it relates to law enforcement, so we can catch these guys and get them out of here and force every liberal to go on the record and say why they will or will not support it?
This is already happening, and this is why it's going to be so important, Mark, that we not only get a bigger majority in the House, we get the Senate and get President Trump. You see, we can message these things like we're doing right now. We've already messaged that we're not going to fund, we're going to start defunding sanctuary cities. We messaged that, but we can only have it happen if we get it through the House, the Senate, and the President signs off on it. So let's get to the point now. We have a remarkable moment in time where our country can see what it looks like when the hard left, the Marxists, start running our country. Let us have a big majority in the House. Give us a Senate, give it to President Trump. You're going to see such a change in terms of getting freedom back, getting security back, and getting America first back. That's what we need right now. And you're right. This has already been put up in terms of legislative language. We just now need to have the numbers to put it through and make it law.